Well, guys, you can't really do much about this. I don't know how much further GameStop can go at this point. We got word that they have dropped heavily in revenue. They dropped 30% in hardware sales, 19.1% in new game software from this past quarter, which would have been Christmas time. That's when you're supposed to push stuff heavily. I mean, you should just be able to grab bags of this stuff and send it with customers. But no, GameStop is in trouble. They're having so many problems. One with their employee stuff, where the circle of life, which has apparently come and then gone, although I'm sure it's still kind of there, just it's named something different, or they've altered it in some way. Well, guess what? Now GameStop is fighting a losing battle with places like Best Buy and Amazon, which are places that don't need new game software to make them money. And this was reported on CNBC. Of course, GameStop turns in their quarterly reviews because they have to investors. And as much as they probably didn't want to, they probably looked at it and said, well, we're on our way down. We have to put it out. It's going to be a firestorm. And they were right. Their stock drops 12% today. 12%. Oof. And here's the real problem. I don't think they can get it back. Now, they've been trying to do other things, of course. They've been trying to do things like pop figures, apparel. I mean, they're trying to sell shirts. Whenever I go to GameStop now, it's half games, and then the other half is just stuff you'd find on ThinkGeek, which makes sense because they bought ThinkGeek, so that's going to happen, right? And so now I think GameStop knows that there is no future in selling new games as their primary business. Now, back in the day when I was there, we would do heavy volumes of new games. We would sell crazy amounts. I mean, we would sit here and hundreds of new games would go out every day, just especially when there was a release. When Halo 3 came out, I think we sold over 1,000 copies that night alone. Call of Duty 4 came out. That was probably another 800 copies minimum. And it's not that way anymore. Now you have places like Amazon and Best Buy who use new game discounts to lure people to their stores, or in Amazon's case, their website. And like I said, neither of those places need to make money on new games. In fact, places like Walmart even, if they ever start discounting it, Walmart doesn't care about new games. They have so much lost inventory in new games. I have a feeling at this point they use it to write off for losses to make up for places that they heavily profit. Amazon makes a ton of money from sellers that sell on there because they tax them. I have sold on Amazon. They tax you anywhere from 8 to 10% whenever you sell something, and they take it out every time you sell something. So they make a lot of money there. And the easiest place to have a loss is definitely on video games. Even if they run it at cost, which I can tell you now with their program where they take 20% off, they are selling it to you for less than wholesale. There are stores I go to where they will take and then get from Amazon. They will order games, 4 games at a time, smaller mom and pop stores, from Amazon rather than have to put in a massive order with other big wholesale places. Why not just go to Amazon, get a couple, put it out on the shelves for $60? People still do walk in and buy games. It's just not much. And GameStop has done nothing to adapt to their competition because they can't. GameStop needs to sell these games at $60. They have no choice. They need you to trade your stuff in. And people are buying digital now. So not only are they losing their new games, they are losing their used games, which is where they make all of their money. I have no idea how GameStop can turn this around. It looks like they've reported to be closing about 3% of their stores, which comes out to somewhere around 150 stores. That's going to happen throughout the year. You need to downsize in this case, and that's what they're doing. Their overall sales, like overall for the whole fiscal year, was down 13.6%, which dropped them to just over $3 billion. That sounds like a lot, but for a company with that much overhead and that many stores, it's not. They are in some serious trouble, and it kind of is a shame because the brick and mortar video game stores are starting to become extinct. Now, there are still smaller stores out there, don't get me wrong, and they'll try to stay around. There's a lot of places at flea markets, mom and pop stores. I visit plenty of them. They're still around. But GameStop disappearing, as much as we like to bash them and make fun of them, they are a big part of video games right now. They get a lot of the smaller niche games in that show up. They get a lot of things in that you probably wouldn't see as much in mom and pop stores that aren't willing to take chances on those games or accessories. You just won't. There's one store I go to help them fix games. They refuse to ever order the Xbox One Elite controller despite people calling because it's too much of a risk, whereas GameStop has no problem having them in stock because they can do that. They can take those risks, and if they go away, it's going to be kind of a shame. We're going to get to the point where, yes, we will probably be ordering everything online. Everything will become digital. And it will, I think, frustrate people like me who are a little older, maybe you who are a little older. And I know there are some younger people out there who enjoy their physical copies, but let me tell you now, it's definitely the younger generation that is coming in that is fine with digital games because they've grown up with digital games. As crazy as it sounds, people come into the stores where I am, the stores sell retro games, and to some of them, the Xbox and the PS2 are considered NESs to us, is a PS2 to Xbox to them. And it's kind of weird to think about it. So unfortunately, GameStop is probably not going to be around for much longer. Now, they're not going to go anywhere in the next 5, even 10 years, but with how much they're pushing the Switch and how much they're pushing the Scorpio, I think they realize they need these systems, specifically the Switch, actually, because I think the Switch, with what they're saying, had very high attach rates for things that they make money on. Things like accessories, controllers, cases, screen protectors, even amiibos. This is all stuff that is low cost for them, but does bring them in higher profit margins, somewhere in the 20 to 30%, which is much higher than a game's 7% profit margin, not even, because all the costs and shipping that go into it becomes almost zero anyway. Now listen, I'm not telling you to go out and support your GameStop if you don't like them. Just keep in mind that if GameStop goes away, the physical marketplace for games is going to take a serious hit. Best Buy and Amazon are only offering these discounts because they had to get into the game industry. You can't just turn it on and walk into the game industry. They realized that, and they came in with heavy competition by dropping games 20%. GameStop can't do that. They are stuck. Whereas Best Buy and Amazon, maybe they don't have to do that when GameStop goes away, especially because the next one out would probably be Best Buy. And then there's just Amazon. I'm telling you now, if it's just Amazon, that little 20% discount would probably go away. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think down below about this whole thing with GameStop. And let me know if you like this new format where I'm up and the green screen's bigger and everything. I'm curious to know. But otherwise, guys, let me know down below. I'm very curious about your experience with your local GameStop, and if it does maybe make you a little worried about the future of physical media if GameStop goes away. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.